Welcome back to 278 Sports Street. We have a lot to go over today. We got pitchers and catchers reporting. We got some free agents going down. I'm Bobby LaFavor. I am here with
Jacob Rissmiller.
All right, we're gonna hop right into it. Let's start off with spring training. How we looking?
I'm very excited for spring training this year. A lot of big moves going on. I think that this spring training could honestly be one of the most exciting we've seen in a while, only because we have a lot of rookies coming up. We have the new Mets lineup.
We have a lot of new lineups.
You could even say the Dodgers' new rotation. Like there's just a lot of new things coming.
Padres. I'm excited to see how the Padres pan out with their team chemistry with this spring training.
And I think that's big with spring training this year. I think that's why it's probably going to be one of the biggest, because everyone has to now reorganize everything.
Well, this is also our first.
Lineups are new, prospects are new, everything is just new.
Yeah.
So I think this spring training is gonna be awesome, honestly.
I mean, this is our first real spring training in probably 2 years, because last year coronavirus happened. So halfway through spring training, everyone gets sent home. So this is our first real spring training leading up to our first regular season in a pretty long time. So
yeah, I'm excited.
A lot going down.
Really excited.
All right, so let's move into rookies. We got a lot of rookies coming up this year. Who's someone that we should look out for?
I like this guy Joe Adell from the Angels. He's a young guy. He plays. I believe he played center in the minors, but obviously, the Mike Trout.
Yep.
Can't happen. He had a 161 average with a negative 1.3 WAR. I don't love it, but I think during spring training, if he can get reps under Trout, Trout's I would say the textbook 5-tool player. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's just an all-around good player, and he's a leader. Mm-hmm. He's gonna take that young guy under his wing, and he's gonna teach him the ways.
And Adell has speed too.
Yes.
So that can, Trout's a base stealer. He's a hitter. He's a fielder. He can do anything.
Well, Trout's a 30 for 30 guy. He's gonna give you 30 home runs. He's gonna also steal 30 bases.
And that's something I think Joe Adell could provide sometime down the future. Because, and again, I know I said this, a little bit ago about the Dodgers. There's going to be a time without that Clayton Kershaw. There's going to be a time in the Angels lineup that you don't have Mike Trout. You don't have Anthony Rendon. So if he can kind of go under Trout's wing and just kind of learn and get that experience, stick him in right field, stick him in left, just to get reps. And then once Mike Trout gets older, you got to push him to a corner. Adell's your guy, and he's set. He's going to put up Mike Trout type numbers, and he'll be a solid guy.
So are you telling me Joe Adell is the next Mike Trout?
No. I think they have the same qualities. That's about it.
I was gonna say Mike Trout is a once in a lifetime player. No one is going not for a very long time. No one is going to match up to what Mike Trout has done in the MLB.
Oh, I agree. I just think they have a lot of similarities.
Yes,
their swing is the same. They both have that speed, that rare speed power combo that I think can really play into the Angels' favor.
Okay,
down the road.
All right. You got any other rookies to keep an eye out for?
This is one of my guys down in LA. Gavin Lux, second baseman.
Okay.
I think he could be that utility guy, kind of like a Brad Miller kind of guy. He can play every position on the infield. Mm-hmm. With the re-signing of Justin Turner, you have that Bellinger-Turner combo at first and third.
That's big.
If you want to throw Bellinger in the outfield, throw Turner at first. Now you've Gavin Lux at third. If Turner would need to move to second, you can stick Lux at short. He's a versatile infielder that can play anywhere, and I think that's what the Dodgers need to give those guys a day off if they want to contend.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The Dodgers are going to be a pretty good... I want to watch how they're going to do this spring training to see if they can kind of keep it going from last season winning the World Series. So it's kind of going to just be them working out the kinks and making sure that they don't get a big head from winning the World Series.
Yeah.
Because I feel like always after the World Series, the team kind of falls off a little bit. Like you look at the Astros, what do they do the year after they win?
Cheated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think the biggest thing for the Dodgers would be pitching. Just to get Bauer in that mix. Just kind of just solidify. I think they're more. They just need to solidify what they have.
Bauer is a very polarizing player, so it's going to be interesting to see how their team chemistry works out from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
All right. So moving on from the rookies, I'm just going to give you a couple teams that I think that we should really watch this spring training to see if they're going to be all that. So my first one is the New York Mets. We got a couple of key pickups. We got Francisco Lindor. Actually, we're possibly in trade talks to get Chris Bryant.
I like that move.
That would be real
A
big,
lot.
considering that would give us another star infielder. And at third base, we haven't had a position player at third base that's a star since David Wright.
That'd be young David Wright.
Yeah, like 2006 David Wright. But yeah, here, I'm going to read off the lineup to you. Tell me what you think. So leading off, we got Brandon Nimmo. In the 2-hole, we got Jeff McNeil. 3-hole, Francisco Lindor. 4-hole, Michael Conforto. 5-hole, Pete Alonso. 6-hole, Dom Smith. J.D. Davis, and then James McCann. What do we think, Jacob?
I mean, we've kind of talked this morning about my kind of thing on it. I think the Mets is a big if for me. Just right now. I think, spring training is going to be kind of their coming out party. If they can mix well in spring training, that'll transition to the season, and then they'll be fine. I would think they would be the second most dominant lineup.
I would say if they are able to stay healthy and keep a good team chemistry, which usually in New York Mets baseball, they always have a great morale when they're playing good.
Yeah.
So if they can keep that up, I feel like they could probably be about like a 90-win team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if they're all healthy, they can win the East for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, I know we joked about this earlier, the Mets factor. It's a joke, but it's a thing. Once you put on that Mets jersey, you're either a hit or miss right out of the gate,
or you're just injured the entire time,
and that's
which is a big problem.
And that's why I say the if factor. I know Pete Alonso had some struggles last year with injuries and stuff. I think what's his name? Jeff McNeil finally proved himself to be a good hitter.
Yes.
You kind of told me that earlier.
Yeah, he's batting .293 lifetime so far.
I've kind of changed my mind about that one a little bit. But again, Frankie Lindor, he has to hit.
He's an older player, so it just depends on if he's able to keep up that production.
You're 3 through 8. Nimmo and McNeil are gonna get on base. Those are we were joking earlier. They get on base. That's all that matters.
Moneyball.
They get on base. But Francisco Lindor is kind of transitioning to a power bat a little bit.
Yes.
Over the past
he is
year
dipping
or
and jacking a little bit since they won that World Series.
So again, that's my if. The Mets hit homers.
Yes.
That's what they do. That's a hit or miss. You're either gonna hit 5 a game or you're gonna hit none.
I mean, last season we had 4 guys hit 30+ homers, but they also struck out over 100 times in a shortened season.
That's the thing.
So
that's the if factor.
So we just gotta. I think we're gonna keep our eye out on that and see how it plays out for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, me too.
Another team that I want to kind of keep an eye on is the San Diego Padres.
Mm-hmm.
They added a lot of superstars, and with that many superstars, it's always possible that it won't work out because personalities are going to clash.
Yeah, I think especially in that rotation, if anything, it's going to clash. Tatis is the kind of guy who's going to bring that lineup together.
Yeah.
He has that energy. I think, I know I joked, or you said that I thought Adele was going to be the next Mike Trout. I think, if anybody, Tatis is the next face of baseball.
He is, because he came up around the same time Mike Trout did. He's a young guy that came up, and he's producing from an early time.
Mm-hmm. Trout is the face of the NL, and I think after either this year or next year, Tatis is going to be the face of the MLB. The MLB, not just the NL, the MLB. He's electric. He can hit. He can field. He makes these web gems that people can't believe. That's what people want to see.
He does have some crazy range.
Mm-hmm. Range factor, yes. He has so many things to do in the middle infield that are productive.
Yeah.
To me. They're too productive. They're more. I would almost say more productive than Trout because
Well, Trout can only do so much in center field.
And
he can only rob so many home runs.
That's my point. When you have a middle infielder playing every day with that kind of energy and that fielding, that's different. That's just different baseball.
But I feel like playing at that energy for so long is going to burn him. Like it's possible for burnout.
Yep.
You're playing a middle infield spot that gets worked every single day in and day out. You're going to have a burnout at some point if he doesn't kind of learn to
control it.
Yeah, he's a very flashy player. Mm-hmm. So I think he just has to kind of work on that. And then moving over to the pitching side of the ball, they have a bunch of Cy Young contenders in that pitching rotation now.
Yeah.
So having all those Cy Young winners, are they going to be able to mesh well? Like you need in a pitching rotation. I mean, you have to have a very good atmosphere.
Yeah.
So how do you think it's going to play out with having that many superstars in one rotation?
I'll go to the Yankees real quick. With the pickup of Garrett Cole, they had that superstar rotation at one point, and it didn't work.
Yes.
It worked. I mean, I'm not gonna say it didn't work. It worked, but it didn't get them as far as they hoped.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I think the Padres are gonna mesh well, only because they're all young guys. It's kind of funny. They all stream video games on Twitch.
We also talked about this with Trayvon. There's not going to be that baseball politics when you come in. Like you're not welcomed right away. So having young guys that could help out with that team morale.
When you get a veteran that's gonna want to come in, just to get a ring at some point, because you're gonna have that. They'll accept them and use their knowledge instead of just shutting them out, which I think is going to be the biggest thing for the Padres. They have a couple guys that are veterans that know what they're doing day in and day out. They can help these younger guys, just excel their game and make the Padres not just a team, but a winning organization.
I would say they're set up to be the next dynasty in baseball.
Yes, I agree. They just need to work on their farm system a little bit.
Yes,
and they're good.
They need to set themselves up for the long run. For the short term, they're a World Series contender, but in my book already.
I agree. Yeah.
So, I don't really got any other teams. Dodgers looking good this year. White Sox, I think we should keep our eyes out for. They got a lot of young talent over there.
One team I've kind of been looking a little more into is the Oakland Athletics.
Oh, they did just get a big pickup.
I'm a big Moneyball guy. I like those simple pickups for the 1 year, $2 million. I like those because it makes the players bet on themselves. And I think that's gonna be the biggest thing for the A's this year. They picked up Sergio Romo. They got a pitcher from the Padres. They got Mitch Moreland.
Mitch Moreland's big. That's a big vet. He gets on base.
They get those Moneyball guys and they make them bet on themselves. And I like that a lot because it makes the players work for a bigger contract instead of just you're here a year out, kind of like a Baltimore situation. You're there for a year and you're done. If you're with the A's, they're gonna keep giving you those 1 year deals because they want you to keep betting on yourself. And I that's something I really like in the organization.
Yeah, I really like the A's lineup this year. They have a lot of older talent. They have a lot of vets, but if they all come together and they really work at it, you could see maybe another Moneyball team make the playoffs.
I like that Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, and now Mitch Moreland. That probably 3, 4, 5 maybe.
That could be it. Yeah.
I like that a lot. I really do. I think they're a team to watch.
All right. So moving on from spring training and kind of like teams to look out for. What else we got? We got some free agency deals going down.
Yep, couldn't cover it last week, so we do got a couple. Justin Turner back to the Dodgers. Love that one. I like it, but I don't at the same time. If I'm the Dodgers GM, I'd be looking at Brian Anderson from Miami. I would have either shipped Justin Turner off earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Or I think he can kind of be I think he could be a trade piece towards the deadline this year.
Well, now that there's not going to be a DH in the NL, I feel like
it killed his value.
It did kill his value, so I don't think they could really deal him out like they wanted to.
No. The best they're going to do is get him to another NL team at this point. But I still think he can be a big trade piece.
He could
at some point.
He's an electric player. Like, he was an integral part of that World Series team last year.
This is where I come back to Gavin Lux. You ship Turner out to get a pitcher, you already have someone to play third.
Yes.
And that's kind of why I like this pickup a lot because it's versatile.
So you're going to use him as trade bait, you think?
I would, yes.
Okay.
I like the trade bait a lot more.
That's an amazing part of baseball. You get these people that sign back their star players, and all they use them for is trade bait. It's crazy.
And I think for the Dodgers that would help them a lot more to get that extra a bullpen arm, just a bat off the bench, a Billy Hamilton speedster just sitting on the bench. I think that would propel them to the World Series past the Padres.
It could, yeah. Sure. All right. What other free agents we got?
The last one that I kind of liked was Brad Miller going to Philly.
Oh.
He's a utility infielder. He's not fantastic at a .9 WAR with a .232 average. It's not crazy, but it's he's a bench bat. That's all you're gonna need him for.
Yeah.
He's not a power guy. He'll give you 20 homers a year, off the hopefully off the bench, half start, half bench. He'll just be one of those guys that'll smack a homer for you if you need it.
Yeah.
And he knows his role, and I like that. I like that about him.
Yeah. I mean, we already covered this one, but we got Mitch Moreland to the A's.
Mm-hmm.
Big pickup for them.
Yep, Moneyball, baby.
Yep.
And I want to talk to you about this one too. Taijuan Walker to the Mets. How do you feel about that one?
I like that one. It's a really big pickup for them. They got an arm now.
I think that solidifies the rotation.
They got a nice arm out of the pen, right?
No, he's a starter.
Oh, he's starter. Okay.
That's why I think that solidifies the rotation.
I think it brings it all together. Because
Yeah.
now you got Jacob deGrom at the top. You got Carrasco in the 2. You got Stroman in 3.
It would be DeGrom, Carrasco, Stroman, Walker, and then Peterson or Lucchesi.
I think I would want to see Lucchesi. And honestly, I think that they might end up running a 6-man. We've done it in the past, and I think they might end up running it again.
I like that.
Because DeGrom's used to it.
Yeah.
He's done it before.
So is Carrasco in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. So I think the Mets might end up running a 6-man now that they have Walker.
I actually don't mind that. I actually kind of like that. That's a solid 4 guy.
No, I think it's a good pickup. I mean, he's a solid arm, and he's gonna go out there, give him 6 innings, 6 quality innings, maybe 2 earned, maybe. Like it's just gonna be a nice guy to have there, just to fill innings.
Yeah. I'm 9-8 with a 4.4 ERA. It's
not great, but he's gonna go out there and he's gonna give you he's gonna go and do what you expect. He's not gonna do anything lights out.
Yep. But you know what you're gonna get. Mm-hmm. That's all the free agents I got for you.
I mean, there was nothing else really I got. I mean, there wasn't any big deals that went down. There was no Trevor Bauer deal this past week. There's no. I mean, there was what's his name? Fernando Tatis Jr. He signed that big deal.
That big extension, yeah.
But I mean, that's all I got for that. Next up, this is gonna be a big one. These are some bold predictions here. We got our way too early to call award predictions.
This was fun. This was fun to make.
All right.
You start this one off in the AL.
All right, in the AL. So for AL MVP, I think I'm gonna go with Mike Trout.
It's a no-brainer.
I mean, you can't really go wrong picking Mike Trout. He's gonna go out. He's gonna give you 30+ home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Probably bat 290+.
Yep.
Gonna have a good OPS. He's gonna have a good wins above replacement.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna go out there and be a good player for them.
Mm-hmm.
For AL Cy Young, I'm tossed up between Garrett Cole and Lucas Giolito.
I like Giolito. That's my guy.
He's in a good environment right now in Chicago. He's always going to go out there, probably give you a 2 ERA, maybe even below that. Garrett Cole, he's just spotty. He's he's going to go out. What did he bat? Pitch. In 2019, he had a 2.50 ERA. I mean, it's not bad. He had 326 strikeouts. But also, you have to think, he's not going to go out there and, give you that every time. I feel like he's a spotty pitcher.
I think Garrett Cole's biggest problem is winning in the postseason.
Yes.
I think if he can win in the postseason, he is my no-brainer Cy Young for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Not this year. Okay. I don't think he has the chance to do it this year only because he can't win in the postseason. It's the same problem happened to Kershaw.
Yes.
Once he wins that World Series, once he throws that game 1 in the World Series and he is lights out, you are my Cy Young then.
Okay.
But until I see you pitch in that that stressful situation, bottom 9, 2 outs, when game 1's on the line, it doesn't mean much to me.
Okay. All right. Let me hear your AL predictions for this.
So MVP again, Mike Trout, same as you. Lucas Giolito is my Cy Young. Rookie of the Year, I actually have Nate Pearson from the Blue Jays.
Okay.
Or Joe Adell from the Angels.
I can see Joe Adell if he gets the right kind of mentor in Mike Trout.
Yep.
I think that he's gonna do some damage in the AL this year.
Yeah, and I love watching Nate Pearson throw. Absolutely disgusting kid. He didn't throw a lot of games last year. Was 1-0 with a 6 ERA. For
how many starts?
4.
Okay.
I'll take that for 4 or 5 games. I'm okay with that, with just 1-0 for right now. I think next year you put him on a little bit of an innings limit, just so you don't burn him out his first year, his first full year in the league. Put him on the innings limit. His sophomore year, take the reins off. Let him go. I think this kid could be a future Cy Young.
Future Cy Young, wow.
Yes.
That's a freezing cold take right there.
Yeah, it is.
After posting a 6 ERA?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay.
Yep. I think he has potential to be a future Cy Young.
We'll see how that one plays out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a great pitcher, but
That's one of the freezing cold takes I'm glad I said. Because I this is one I
now
I really have faith in this kid.
now you have it cemented in history.
Yep.
So then I can make fun of you if it goes wrong.
I would expect nothing less.
I'll be sitting here saying I told you so.
And then comeback player of the year, Trey Mancini. I don't even think this is a question.
I like
don't
Trey
even
Mancini.
think this is a question. Missed all last year, stage 3 colon cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Beat it, and now he's coming back. I think if he even just gets one hit this year, that's amazing.
I think that the fact that he's even coming back warrants him to get that award.
Yeah.
He went through cancer, and now he's going to come back and play in the MLB.
That's
huge.
That's an amazing feat. I mean, even Cookie Carrasco last year did that with lymphoma, and it was one of those emotional moments in baseball.
Yeah.
That you're just like, wow, like this, he overcame this to do his dream.
Exactly.
And beating, I have cancer that runs in my family, and like, it's one of those things when you beat that, that's a life goal.
I mean, you feel
making it to the MLB is a life goal.
Yes.
You do both of those in the same year, that's incredible to me.
I'm rooting for him this year, like really.
Me too.
Like he's
Orioles.
a great ball player, and the fact that he had to deal with that, I hope the best for him.
Yep. I don't like the Orioles. Trey Mancini got to be one of my favorite players in the AL right now.
Yeah.
Has to be. And then lastly, reliever of the year, Liam Hendriks. I think takes this one pretty easy. He's the backbone of that new White Sox bullpen, and I think that him, and this is why I go back to Giolito winning the Cy Young. I think if you have Giolito start a game, once you get to that bullpen in the 6th, 7th inning, it's lights out. You have Aaron Bummer coming out of there. You have Garrett Crochet. You have Liam Hendriks now. Just those three, you're not gonna get much done.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, if I could give the award I wouldn't even give it to Liam Hendriks. I would give the award to the White Sox bullpen.
Okay. Except you say they're gonna help out Giolito with wins in his Cy Young race, but honestly, in my opinion, I don't really care about wins. What's so good? If you have a team that isn't gonna go out there and get the hits for you, like who cares about wins if you're posting a 1.93 ERA?
It plays a factor. And I'm only going to say that because, and I think that's why I'm not a fan of Garrett Cole. Because he can't win. He wins in the regular season, but once that postseason hits, nothing gets done.
Mm-hmm.
I think Giolito and the White Sox can win that Central, even if they get knocked out first round. I think Giolito is going to put on a hell of a performance, and that bullpen is going to back him up.
I'm not saying that Giolito isn't going to go out and be an amazing pitcher.
I think it's going to help him because once you get back to that 7th inning, if you have a 1-run lead, you don't have to worry about it as much as other bullpens.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to worry about it. It's only 1 run. But, you have 3 of, I would say, the top 15 relievers right now in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Not much is going to get done once you get to that bullpen.
I'm just saying, in my opinion, Cy Young should not be determined based on win. It should be based on production.
Yeah.
It should be based off of ERA, it should be based off of WHIP, and it should be based off of WAR.
Yeah,
I think that those 3 should be the biggest factors. And, I just think that that's what it should be based on. I don't think anyone really cares about the wins.
Yeah, it's a small factor. Because if you're not on a team that's winning, it kind of defeats the purpose of the Cy Young then, because you need to have both. The Cy Young is one of the weirdest awards to me because I feel like you need to have both. You need to have the wins, and you need to have the pitching.
I feel like that's the most valuable player. I don't think Cy Young should be that. Cy Young is the most lights out pitcher. It doesn't.
I agree.
Look at Jacob deGrom in 2018. The man put up a 1.70 ERA or something like that.
Yeah.
He went 9-10 with 10 no decisions because he had no hitting behind him.
So that's your one example. Give me another one. With a low win pitcher winning.
I'm talking about recently though.
Recently, give me another one.
I don't have any other recently, but I'm saying that it happens.
It's not likely. It happens, with DeGrom. I think
If you have a lights out pitcher, I feel like that's who should get it.
I feel like a similar situation happened to Pedro Martinez, I believe, or
It
Randy
did.
Johnson.
It happened to Pedro Martinez when he was on the Red Sox before they made that World Series run.
But that's the last one before DeGrom. It happens, but I think winning is a factor.
Okay.
It has to be a factor because if you can't win games, that's the whole point of baseball. No, that's the only reason I think that.
Okay. All right, and then moving over to the NL. So for my MVP, I'm gonna have to go with Fernando Tatis Jr. this year.
Yep.
He won that Rookie of the Year, came out guns blazing, just boom. But I think that he's gonna end up being one of these star players in this new season. So I'm really looking forward to what he's gonna produce this year. And then moving over to the Cy Young, I'm gonna have to go with Jacob deGrom.
Mm-hmm.
He's just too dominant of a pitcher. He goes out there, gives 7 quality innings almost every single start.
Yep.
I mean, let me just look something up. Let me look at his.
I don't agree with the pick, but I agree that he is one of the most disgusting pitchers in the game.
He's just one of the most dominant. I feel like he just goes out there and you're expecting 7 innings, maybe 1 earned. I mean, right now he has a 2.38, or in 2020 he has 2.38 ERA. In his career, he posted a 2.61.
That's insane.
And then back in 2019, 2018, he had a 2.43 in 2019. In 2018, his Cy Young year, 1.70 ERA through 217 innings.
I think if he wants to win Cy Young again, he has to get below 2 to even make it count.
To make it even be a question, he does have to be below a 2
Because
if he doesn't have the wins.
That's why I come back to winning's a factor.
Well, that's why he won it that year. He had an insane ERA.
Yeah. But I mean, if he comes out with a 2-2 but wins 15 games, I think it's him easy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when I come back to. I think winning is a factor.
Okay.
It's not the overall factor, but it's one of the smaller ones.
All right. Who's your top pick for MVP this year?
I'm right with you with Tatis.
Okay.
I think he's too much energy. He's too much of a likable player. He's good on both sides of the ball. He's an easy MVP for me. But for Cy Young, I'm actually going to go Trevor Bauer.
Okay.
And I kind of have a weird twist to this one on why I think he is. Spin rate. Trevor Bauer's spin rate has risen about, I think I saw 80% in the last 2 years. The higher your spin rate is, and I'll example Verlander for this. When you're throwing 102 and it looks like it's coming in at 108, you can't hit that. With that spin rate, you're gonna get more rise. You're gonna get more tail on your ball.
So what did he do to his throwing that was able to change that? Do you know?
I don't know. I know something I looked into was Driveline, which is basically just a biometrics company that helps pitchers throw harder.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their big things was spin rate. When you get the spin rate higher, you get more velocity because you break gravity less.
Yes.
So that ball's gonna go straight as an arrow. With that, you're gonna get a little bit of rise out of a fastball. You're gonna get more break.
That's gonna be scary. You have a rise on that 100 and something mile per hour fastball. That's scary.
And that's why I think Trevor Bauer is gonna win because the ball's coming in different than other pitchers.
Yeah.
Not different in terms of speed or curve on the ball, but how you visualize it coming in, because it's gonna look like a white dot coming in instead of a baseball.
But think about this. Someone makes contact with that pitch, it's going somewhere.
Yeah.
It's going for a ride.
Uh-huh.
That's the biggest thing I'm afraid about with these flamethrowers.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with that. I think if Bauer can get the spin rate under control, I think, and he limits the balls that he throws out of the park, I think that'll help.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right. So this has been 278 Sports Street. Thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you next time.